punish anyone who blocks my path.
The blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill
Year 1181, the new Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, led a strategic assault against the monastery at Garreg Mach. Though her own losses were great, her foes had no choice but to surrender.
Hey, this is the same thing it plays normally.
Rhea commanded the Knights of Seros, leading from the front lines against the Imperial army. After a hard-fought battle, she was forced to retreat to Ferdiad, the capital of Fargus, where she must now plan her next
Okay,
move.
so we're going to control Garreg Mach for Edelgard's
With
campaign
this
as well.
single
That makes
attack,
sense.
The Adrestian Empire officially launched its offensive against the Holy Kingdom of Fargus and the Leicester Alliance. The unification of Fodlan has begun.
Yep, that's what we're in. I love how it has me save, plays that one thing, and then has me save again.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Ethereal Moon. Beyond Escape. It is Imperial Year 1185. Half a decade has passed since Emperor Edelgard
So
ascended
again,
the
there's a 5-year
Imperial
skip.
throne.
Interesting.
Yet the continent of Fodlan still remains lost in a tempest of turmoil and bloodshed.
I kind of thought
In
the
the
5-year
Holy
thing wouldn't
Kingdom
happen in
of
this route.
Fargus, King Dimitri has welcomed Archbishop Rhea and her knights, who were driven out of Garreg Mach to the kingdom capital. As they work to build a unified front, the war with the Empire rages on to the west. Meanwhile, Claude, leader of the Alliance, staves off Imperial intervention by strategically stirring up conflicts between Leicester lords in an effort to feign neutrality.
That sounds like what Claw would do. And did
As
do.
events unfold, Edelgard and her Black Eagle strike force begin to take action in an attempt to break the war's current state of deadlock.
You. How long do you intend to sleep?
There's another 5 minutes.
Your body is awake. Your eyes must open now, and you must find the strength to stand upon those legs of yours. Like so much rain, a pool of blood has fallen to the ground. As spears and arrows pierce the earth, it weeps. And even now, it weeps. In order to survive, they kill. And so the people of this world are lost in an abyss of suffering. They weep as well.
Well, that's depressing.
The only one who truly knows the nature of such things is I. Or rather, you.
Or rather, us.
Excuse me? Are you saying you have forgotten who I am? How dare you?
I'm referring to me.
Get on your feet. Right now. I'll coddle you no more. You are just like a child, always needing me to hold your hand.
Wow, you're not a very nice person. I don't know why I ended up with you in the other plot line. I take it back. I end up with to do.
Hey, are you awake? We're in a village at the base of the monastery. What are you doing in a place like this?
How are my clothes still so spotless after 5 years?
I honestly didn't expect to find someone floating away down the river. Garreg Mach is upstream of here, but that place was abandoned.
Why was it abandoned? We fought hard for it. So they're going to have that same meeting our allies fight that the other paths have.
Huh? You don't know? The Church of Seros isn't there anymore. Though, there have been some folks still living there in the 5 years since... well, you know. Regardless, the Imperial Army has taken over now. Are you feeling alright? You didn't hit your head or anything, did you? It's the ethereal moon of the year 1185. It's been nearly 5 years since the monastery fell. Tomorrow was supposed to be the Millennium Festival, but who's got time to think about things like that? Yeah, that's what I said. But with the war and the Archbishop still missing it all, I doubt there's a soul to be found who has enough blessings worth counting.
Wow, they're really like laying into me with the whole, yeah, world kind of sucks now.
Hey, slow down, will ya? Where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? The Imperial Army is there.
Yeah, but we're friends.
Come on, I promise I won't say you're a coward. Just forget about going anywhere near the monastery. You just remember I tried to stop you. Got it? It's not on my conscience if you wind up dead. Students? You really are crazy, aren't you? There aren't any kids anywhere near that place anymore. Unbelievable.
Poor guy.
"5 years ago to the day. If things had continued on as they were, today would have been the Millennium Festival."
Yeah, somebody ruined it.
Halt! Who's there? It can't be. Professor?
I mean, this is... I understand why she's surprised, but you came here under the assumption I would be here. Like, there's no other reason to come.
Is it really you? But I searched everywhere and never found a trace. My teacher. What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been? Joking? At a time like this? You do realize it's been 5 years since you disappeared.
You have forgotten my sense of humor, apparently.
Do you have any idea how guilty I felt? How broken my heart was? I searched high and low after you vanished. Although there was no proof, I somehow knew you were alive. All this time, I led everyone as best I could, and fought with all my heart. It's been a difficult path to walk alone. Welcome back, my teacher. I'm so happy that you're safe.
Oh.
5 years. Such a short time, but it feels like an eternity ago. Do you still feel the way you did all those years ago?
Well, yeah, like no time has passed for me.
You said then that you would fight at my side no matter how many enemies we should amass. As for me, my resolve has not faltered. I'm determined as ever to see this through to the end. I will defeat the false goddess. I will save this world from those creatures and give humanity its freedom back. So, my teacher, are you prepared to stand with me?
Yes, that sounds fun.
I thank you. Truly. Now then, I assume you understand the situation at hand, yes? Another joke? Or are you telling the truth? I suppose you must be.
My power comes from strange places.
In that case, I'll tell you all that has transpired as you slumbered these past 5 years. And that is where we are now. The war is at a stalemate.
So maybe they won't have me fight the bandits and have everyone show up.
Dimitri is the new king of Fargus. It's clear that his territory will continue to support the church. Meanwhile, Claude's leadership has thrown the Alliance into chaos. He maintains neutrality in their internal conflict. The situation has created a deadlock. We've been awaiting an opportunity for our squadron to return to the monastery.
Well, you picked up I don't know what word I'm trying to say. Auspicious day, maybe.
With you in the fray, I believe the state of the war will shift immediately. The Church, as well as the Kingdom and the Alliance. The time has come to eliminate them all. Although we were of different houses, we were companions.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think
together.
fighting the church is going to give him pause. He was kind of committed to that one.
Some of our ranks are hesitant to battle against them, and against the people of their homelands. However, knowing that you're alive is sure to raise their spirits. Good. Well then, I believe it's time for a little reunion. The Black Eagle Strike Force never lost faith. They knew you were alive and have been awaiting your return. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
Let's do it. My cat's really gotta stop standing on top of my computer. I always like push him off, and he always is resistant to be pushed off. I'm like, wait, you're not supposed to be there. I can't spray him with a spray bottle on the computer. That removes any doubt of who the Death Knight is, although we kind of already knew that.
Well now, that face is certainly familiar. I am glad to see you alive and well, Professor.
This is quite a different way of meeting everyone.
Professor! It's me, Bernie! Do you remember me? I can't believe you're here!
I can't believe it. Is this a dream? Can we really be this lucky?
This is not dreaming. Our professor is with us again. Welcome to the back. I mean, welcome back.
It's been 5 years. You haven't learned to talk yet?
Our group isn't the same without you. I am overjoyed to see you again.
Okay, I haven't actually seen him, like, his looking like that. It's a decent look for him.
It's been so long. Seeing you again fills my heart with hope.
Great. Now everything will be easy. That's great you're safe, Professor. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
Quite the reunion, isn't it, Professor? Everyone's happy to see you.
Come on, Edelgard. You must be happier than all of us combined. She took it really hard when you disappeared, Professor.
Sorry.
Of course, we did our very best in your absence, and there was never a day that we doubted you would return to us.
Edelgard has been leading us as Emperor.
I mean, well, yeah, that's what she is.
But after you disappeared, it became apparent that you were her anchor. It gives me regret to be admitting this, but our power is not enough. The only one who can be meeting Edelgard's expectations is you, Professor.
Most impressive of all is your uncanny ability to bring a smile to everyone's face.
In the years since you vanished, we have not lost anyone from our ranks.
Well, good job. Your power is apparently enough for that.
We all longed for your presence and your leadership, myself included.
It seems fitting to view this as a new beginning for the Black Eagle Strike Force. We already have our target.
Yes, we must eliminate the Alliance before moving on to fight the Kingdom and the Church.
Ah, poor Claude.
However, that doesn't necessarily mean we must occupy the entirety of the Alliance. House Rican stands against the Empire. Therefore, our target is Deirdre, the aquatic capital.
We must cross the Aramid River, which separates the Empire and the Alliance.
Do we have to take the bridge?
To do that, we must take the largest bridge
figured.
across it. The Great Bridge of Myrden. Myrden connects the monastery and the Imperial capital to the east. It is the shortest route there.
An Alliance stronghold has been built at the Great Bridge. We'll take that and then head north.
Alright. I do figure we probably won't hit any new maps in this.
At the same time, we must defeat the one who defends it, Judith von Daphne.
Judith. This is going to be such a hard playthrough for me.
If we can also take control of Daphnal territory, it would be greatly beneficial to us. Prepare yourselves. The next battle will be a momentous one.
I feel like they're all going to be momentous.
Join me, my friends, as we begin our journey to bring peace and solace to this war-ravaged world.
I have pickups, help. Sure.
I can't believe how long it's been since I left home. Since I was dragged out of the house, I mean. 5 whole years. It's weird to think about.
I can't remember if I've seen this before or not.
No. But if you'd asked me that 5 years ago, I'd have said the opposite. I have friends here, and I have you. The monastery's become a second home to me.
I'm glad to hear it.
Back then, I never would have dreamed a day like this would come. It's all thanks to you. You've given me a second chance at life. If not for you, I never would have gotten used to leaving my room, let alone the monastery. Maybe the battlefields just dulled my senses.
That's okay. If your senses are just about ignoring the sensation around you, then they need to be dulled.
I'm much better
I don't know
with
what that means.
strangers and new places now, though. I don't panic nearly as much as before. A new place? All on my own?
That sounds like a tough assignment. Where did this come from all of a sudden? Hey, hold on. You're teasing me, aren't you? Please don't joke around like that anymore. It's torture for me. You're still not taking me seriously. I mean it. Promise me you won't do that again. Friends respect each other's feelings, don't they? Good. I'll hold you to that.
I mean, I'll still tease you, but I won't tease you about that.
You're absolutely not allowed to send me out anywhere on my own. Got it? You would need to come with me. If you're with me, I can go anywhere in the world. No, that defeats the purpose.
It wasn't a
Get
good
what I'm
answer for that.
I thought we were finally getting close. Guess I'm not good enough for that, though, am I? I'll let you have this one, but you better be ready for next time.
I was like, sending another professor or being with the spirit is also just kind of terrible.
It's hard to sneak out when the professor is watching. Must I? Fine.
I don't know why in the world I picked those two.
Which means that there are some elements of your power that cannot be explained by current theory. Although this may lead to a discovery that alters the very fabric of Crest research. Oh, pardon me, Professor. I became lost in thought, and I do tend to ramble.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I suggest we call it a day. Do you concur?
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
It seems that I have gotten carried away again. My apologies. I know you are quite busy. I become so energized around you. When we get deep into the research, why, I feel 20 years younger. That said, perhaps we should discuss things unrelated to crests from time to time.
I'm not sure you know any.
Some sort of silly, lighthearted topic might be nice, eh? I'm not especially skilled at small talk, alas. Let me see. Perhaps we should discuss... I know. Food. Not my strong suit, the culinary arts, but I do enjoy a good meal. Which kind of food do you prefer, Professor? Sweet or spicy?
Spicy. On this playthrough, I'm pretty sure.
Spicy? Quite the opposite of me. Yet you're an exception in lots of ways, so it's not altogether surprising.
He's trying to force himself so hard, it's kind of hilarious.
An old colleague of mine theorized that those who bear crests favor sweet flavors over spicy. She suggested that the crest exerts some manner of influence over... Oh, there I go again. How embarrassing. We were supposed to be avoiding talk of crests, weren't we? Terrible habit of mine, finding a way to turn any conversation towards crests. I really should find a way to stop that.
Yeah, but if you could, you would have by now.
That is kind of you, Professor, but it's all right. If you were to lose your patience with me, it could have an incalculable impact on my research. That sort of thing has happened in the past, you know. Back when I was still in the Empire. At first, any lady I was spending time with would titter and say she didn't mind if I talked about crests. But at some point, she would always become fed up and stop listening to what I had to say. In the end, invariably, while I was particularly focused on my research, she would write to say we were done. You may be a man, but I still don't wish for you to grow tired of my company.
I wonder how that conversation goes if I'm not a man. Okay, so the first question that I have is, do we have any paralogs that have unlocked? One. Oh, just secret merchant. Who cares? Alright, and we will be here for a bit. So they are all people I have to go out and hunt down. So who do I want to start with? I want to start with the character I like the least. So that would be Hubert.
Show them this letter. Threaten them. Do what you must. Now go.
Yes, sir.
You shouldn't be that eager to accept that command.
Hubert, that letter. Is that what I think it was?
I suppose there's no denying it.
But Edelgard
explicitly forbade me to send it. Yes, I know.
I cannot believe it. You disobeyed a direct order? I thought you were her loyal aide.
Unwaveringly. All that I do for her. I seem to recall you expressing a similar sentiment.
That was 5 years ago, though.
It is our role to guide her when she is on the wrong course of action. Is that not what you said?
You are not supposed to do it in secret. When you disagree with your leader, you must voice your concerns directly. Otherwise, what is the point?
Yeah, at that point, you're usurping, not assisting.
The point is the same. Lady Edelgard's best interests are served whether she knows it or not. She needs not trouble herself with the mundane details of my actions. Only results matter.
You are sorely misguided. When I believe that Edelgard is making a mistake, I tell her as much. Through discussing the matter, I sometimes find that I was mistaken.
I can't imagine that.
To skip that process, to make a decision that is not yours to make.
Perhaps your advice is simply useless then.
Excuse me?
Listen to yourself. If I do as Lady Edelgard requires, then you tell me to be more independent. But if I tread my own path, I am misguided. I suppose the fault is mine for expecting any useful advice to come out of your mouth.
Ugh, I have had enough of your grousing. To think, I started to believe you were a useful aide.
Well, that was not a very happy-go-lucky conversation. And Henneman's last one. Interesting.
I must thank you for lending your expertise to the aid of Her Majesty, Hanneman.
Your gratitude is wasted on me, Hubert. I choose this situation entirely because it benefits me. I could carry out my research anywhere, of course, but that is, as they say, beside the point.
Is that so?
Hubert, there's something I want to tell you. Will you hear me out?
Depends what it is.
It concerns your father.
Interesting. The one that was arrested.
Then no. Absolutely not.
Oh, by all means, cover your ears and run out of the room. I'll still speak the words, for I feel that I must. Your father, the Marquis of Vestra, well, rather the former Marquis of Vestra, was a selfless man. He was practical and never sought power for the sake of power. In that respect, you and he are rather alike. Do you think such a man would so easily betray his emperor, even if led astray by the Prime Minister?
Clearly, yes. That's exactly what he did. He played a large part in the assault on the palace, personally spearheaded the Emperor's capture. The thought of those treacherous arms reaching out for Her Majesty is truly upsetting.
Agreed. Facts are facts. The palace walls are stuffed with countless truths, all of them concealed by the stones and mortar of fact.
Conceal, that's very interesting phrasing.
I hoped you would have the capacity to see the unfettered truth. But I fear that where your father is concerned, your eyes may see only what you wish them to see.
I'll take that under advisement.
feel free to ignore me. I know full well I have my own blind spots. It's just, I believe your father had something he was trying to protect. Bearing a stain on his honor, being purged by his own son, all in the name of protection.
So I thought this was going to be really interesting, but it seems like he's just sort of spitballing.
I speak from knowledge, as someone who failed to protect something I held dear.
Let's say you're right. Suppose he did it to protect something he cared about. It doesn't matter. Doesn't change his actions or my judgment of them. My father was a traitor to House Hresvelg, and he deserved what he got. That was me protecting something I care about.
Ah, I can see the right of that. You have chosen your own path, Hubert. Continue protecting what you wish to protect, and I shall support you from the bottom of my heart.
I'm not sure Hubert cares about your support. Alright, so that finishes him up. We'll go you have any... Wow, look at his freaking hair. Holy crap. Interesting. Did not expect that. Okay, Hanneman does not have any others. So we will move on to Ferdinand. You know the rules. And Manuela.
Let's see. Has to be here somewhere.
Oh, my princess! Pray tell, are you seeking a book?
Ferdinand, you should probably settle down a little with the princess talk.
Yeah, she's not even, like, nobility.
Just
I don't
speak
think.
to me normally. My princess days are long gone.
I could not disagree more. To me, you will always be that dazzling songstress, that veritable princess of the opera. From ages 5 to 11, I never missed a single one of your performances.
Okay, that's a little obsessive.
Seeing you on stage was like glimpsing heaven. I was overcome with bliss.
You're going a little overboard, and I think I may have something in my eye.
An elegant coalescence of beautiful song and frenetic swordplay. That was the most memorable aspect for me. On stage, weapon in hand, letting your ballads soar to the heavens. Honestly, the first time I held a sword, it was not to train. I was trying to do your sword dance.
That must be why you settled in the lance.
I inspired your love of weaponry? How flattering.
Correct. It is all thanks to you.
Oh, come now. Although I'm honored if my stage presence had any such influence on your life.
The honor is all mine. You blessed me by returning to my life. No matter where I go, or who I end up marrying, my childhood memory of you is inscribed in the deepest depths of my heart. Is something the matter?
Oh, nothing. I just feel a little empty inside now.
And then you also have Mercedes. So yay, we go from the character I like the least to the most boring character.
Mercedes! Finally! There you are.
I'm looking for you for 5 years.
Ah, Ferdinand! Why are you so short of breath?
I just wanted to show you something.
Is this appropriate?
What's this? Oh.
Yes, these are financial records that I recovered from your adoptive father. They prove that when he adopted you, large sums of money changed hands.
How did you get them?
Where did you come across these?
Okay, so that's the same question I had.
I stealthily made my way into Ferdiad and looked around his estate. It was easy.
That doesn't sound easy.
That kind of thing is no trouble for an intrepid young noble such as myself.
Are you implying that you're not surrounded by other nobles?
That's amazing! I mean, amazingly irresponsible. I can't believe you put yourself at risk for my benefit. I really wish you wouldn't do such things.
No, I did it for my benefit. I could not help myself. With these documents, we can show everyone what a scoundrel your adoptive father really is. His noble aspirations will be crushed. The Lord of the region will probably rescind his adoption contract. In other words, you will be free. Here, take them. Do with them what you will.
Interesting. Would they really have that big of an effect?
Do you really believe these will set me free?
Yes, of course. You will be free to decide your own path in life and go wherever your heart leads you.
That does sound nice, but... I'm sorry, Ferdinand, but I think you should hold on to the documents.
Interesting.
Why? Is this not what you want?
I've lived so much of my life following everyone else's lead, so much so that I've come to terms with it. It's almost unavoidable at this point. But with these, I could regain my freedom and change all that.
You baffle me. Do you not wish to be free?
Of course I do. Let me try that again in a way you might understand. Ahem. A true noble cuts their own path, seizing freedom from the clutches of tyranny.
I cannot argue with that. Fine then. I will hold on to the documents.
But I'm really very happy that you're so concerned with my well-being, Ferdinand.
He's an okay guy, actually.
It means so much to me that you went through all that trouble on my behalf.
Of course, Mercedes. The smile on your face is well worth the effort.
Alright, so now he's done except for Oth. Now, Mercedes does have someone else. What about Manuela does not? So that eliminates our options. Oh, finishing up Constance. I think we've probably seen this before.
What's the use? Even with all I've learned, I still don't
Oh,
understand.
Constance, not Ingrid.
Hello, Constance. I hope I'm not interrupting.
So, man, freaking look at Constance.
Not at all. I was just in need of a sympathetic ear. I found a magical scroll, which, unless I am mistaken, should relieve me of my woes.
Oh, wonderful!
Not so fast. The magic within this scroll is a type I have neglected to study.
Well, at least you know what to do now. And wow, does she like? She always had that little weird little blue and blonde braid coming down, but this makes it look like her natural hair color is blue, and she only just like wears a wig or something. Is she a Darkson?
It pains me to admit this, but it may take decades of going back to the basics to grasp it.
Decades? That's a long time to spend with your nose buried in an old piece of parchment.
Why must the goddess dangle a solution before me, only to cruelly pull it away?
To teach you to rely on others.
There's no need to despair. To tell the truth, I like you just as you are.
You do? Why? Those low moods of mine have never done anyone the least bit of good.
You're like a little sister to me. Nothing you do will change that. Not even a little bit.
Really?
Aww.
Of course, you're my sweet Constance, and I like you just as you are.
I see.
Her hair's so...
My moods are not the great burden I thought they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pressure you. No matter what decision you make, I support you.
I felt no pressure, I assure you. It's more that I feel embarrassed to have been embarrassed. I'd put so much effort into finding a magical means to alleviate myself that it never occurred to me that maybe all I needed was to accept myself.
Aww.
What will you do with the scroll you found?
Oh, I'll continue to research it, for research's sake if nothing else, but I may have no need of it. It's not as if these moods of mine have ever hampered my efforts to restore my house.
That you know of.
And I am as a sister to you, no matter which face I present, yes? Nothing, no mood, no foe, no obligation, will keep me from honoring my sisterly duty to protect you.
protect each other.
Certainly can.
Good. It is settled. Now we can begin the hard work of reclaiming our titles. Absolutely. We'll become sister sages
Oh, you
and
guys are still on
restore our
that?
houses to their former glory. You understand the plan perfectly. If we walk this path together, it can only end in triumph.
So that was unexpected, but awesome. Okay, and Constance Edelgard, really not who I expected, but cool.
Your Majesty, might I have a moment of your time?
I wonder what this is about.
Yes, of course. Unless you're not planning yet another magical exhibition, are you? Knowing you, it seems a safe bet. I can't imagine what else it could be. I already promised to help you revive House Nouvelle. If our campaign continues as it has, we'll soon prevail. There's no need to keep inventing spells.
I don't doubt that your Majesty has things well in hand when it comes to the war. Yet why should I allow that to deter me from achieving my ultimate satisfaction?
Fair.
As the scion of proud House Nouvelle, I shall bring about my grand achievement before my house is restored. On that, you may rely.
You have a strong will and a strong mind. You do not consider yourself above concerted effort either. Even during wartime, you trust your own ability to fight and survive. You're ever focused on the future and on the actions necessary to realize it.
Where is this coming from? If there's an angle to be played with this praise, it eludes me.
I was only speaking the truth. I find your efforts to be admirable.
They are when you put it like that.
Your words are sweet. And yet...
Yes? Please, go on.
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but you promised that House Nouvelle would be restored. Yet you work toward a future with no place for the noble houses of old. Granted, in your unified Fodlan, the acting lord for each territory will come from noble stock. But in the long term, your system will replace the nobility. Our role will change significantly.
I'm glad you realized that.
That's exactly right. There will no longer be lords who inherently rule over a particular territory. Instead, nobles will act as government officials, working for the people in exchange for a salary. Officials will be selected from the general populace as well, bringing an end to the very concept of social standing. All will rise and fall by their own merits.
And it is for those reasons that I continue my magical research. Even if nobility ceases to exist as a concept, the meritorious spellcraft displayed by House Nouvelle shall make us a household name.
I must admit, your words strike a chord. I find myself oddly moved by your proclamation.
Yeah, but you probably saw some weird spell again.
So you see, Your Majesty, the fortunes of my house dovetail nicely with your plans. The road on which you stride courageously forward leads to my own bright future.
I too believe that the future you wish for can be found at the end of this path we're cutting.
Splendid! Oh, amid all this talk, I neglected to present my demonstration. Sit back as I, Constance von Nouvelle, display the never-duplicated Nouvelle style of spellcraft.
Man, Magilu needs to work with her.
About that. Another time, yes? I have much to do elsewhere.
No, wait! There's no time like the present! Why, it shan't take more than an hour or two.
Alright. Interesting and unexpected. So that brings us to Edelgard, but that also, I think, will bring us to the end of the episode. We'll get Dorothea and Bernadetta done next time and just make our way through. Bernie has Yuri's final one, and Dorothy just has Adel. So, look forward to it. I will see you in the next one, and we will get stuff done.
Thank you.